Alright, so this next assignment is going to be our eHarmony for Elements assignment. And it's kind of like a mini, it shouldn't really take that long. But basically what you're going to do is you're going to create an eHarmony profile for various elements because most atoms are seeking for someone to make them complete, or at least their outer shell. It's a really bad joke. This is what I do. I'm just a weird guy. I read Give a Mouse a Cookie to my daughter, and I'm like, oh, I can make that into a Hitler book. See an eHarmony ad, and I'm like, oh, let's hook up some elements. I'm weird. Create. So you're going to create two opposing profiles for elements, and you're going to create. So one of them is going to be for an ionic bond. So you're going to make two profiles. So one needs to be a metal, one needs to be a non-metal, and then you need to write down what their formula would be if they were to form a bond. And then you're going to do two more profiles for two nonmetals, because remember covalent bonds are between two nonmetals. And you're going to write down what the formula would be if they formed a bond, and write the name of the compound. All right, so you're going to write you're going to have 4 profiles in total. All right, and then you're going to have a text message between the atoms that are going to connect. All right, so it's just going to be something kind of goofy. We did the SMS assignment in history, so you should have a general idea how to do that. All right, so here's how you're going to be graded. So you're going to have, so basically this will be your ionic bond. You should have a metal and a non-metal. All right, you should have a text message between the metal and non-metal. You should have the formula for what it would be. Remember, it says right here, it says use oxidation numbers. All right, so like if you have, remember you want to write down the correct formula, and then you want to write down the correct name of the bond. All right, so what it would be. All right, so remember, you do not use, for the ionic bond, you do not use the Greek prefixes. All right, because that's not, so make sure whatever you do when you do that, you don't use Greek prefixes. And then you're going to do 2 more pages. Once again, these are going to be 2 nonmetals, all right, because you're doing a covalent bond. All right, text between the two using the SMS system. Bond writing down the correct formula and the covalent bond name. So like if you have like carbon and oxygen, it doesn't really matter what the formula is. If you do carbon and oxygen, you can do 1 carbon and 1 oxygen. You can do 1 carbon and 2 oxygen. So the formula can be different, but just make sure, once again, the name is different because you're using those Greek prefixes that we've talked about. All right, so you're going to have 4 profiles total. You're going to have 2 text messages, and we'll go from there. You can see there's a template here, all right, that you're going to put information in. There's the text message link, and then there's the interactive periodic table. That's where you can just find information about the elements. All right, so I'll show you an example of this. All right, so here is the example that I just made. All right, so I chose sodium. All right, so that's my metal that I'm going to use. All right, and it says, what am I passionate about? Now, this can be a lot of different things. All right, again, the whole point of bonding, and you can write this again, but the whole point of bonding is to have a full outer shell, right? So that's what they're passionate about. But that can be a little bit different, if you want to, be specific, and be like, I want to lose an electron, or I just want to get rid of that one extra electron I have, whatever. What am I looking for? All right, so this is sodium's looking for anyone to take in its free electron. All right, so it wants to take in that free electron. So because if it can lose that 1 electron, just remember it's going to have a full outer shell. All right, and then some of the basic information from the periodic table: the atomic number, the mass number. Round that up. Where it's so location instead of where it lives. It's what group and what period it's in. All right, so what group and period it's in. Valence electrons, just 1. Type of bond you're looking for. Well, since it's a metal, all right, it's going to be an ionic bond. All right, so in this case, we're looking for an ionic bond. So searching for a nonmetal that has something missing in its outer shell. Right, searching for that someone that just has something missing. It's a really weird assignment. And I said, describe yourself. And this is where you're going to click on that interactive periodic table, which I'll go back and show you. You want to describe kind of what it is, what it looks like, just like it's, when you guys get on a dating website, you say a little bit about yourself. You can do the same thing in that describe yourself section. You're going to write, it doesn't have to be anything crazy, but it should be a couple sentences. If you're just like, I'm a metal. It's going to be, obviously, you're not going to get points for that. So just, you can describe, you can say what family you belong to, like, hey, I'm a member of the alkali metal family, blah, 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 whatever. I'm a soft silvery metal. It might be best if we get together to avoid water because I'll explode on contact. It's my one flaw. if I could just find someone to take my baggage at 1 valence electron, I know that I will be complete. It's a shame I met my wife in college. I would have been a pretty good harmony profile maker. All right, and then I did chlorine. I hooked up chlorine. So here's the text message. All right, so I did the exact same thing here. I'm not gonna go through all this again. I took a picture of chlorine atom. You can do like a shell model like I did there. You could find what it actually looks like up here, like sodium. That's the metal that it looks like. Obviously, they're going to be looking for something different. This is looking to gain 1 electron. Sodium's looking to lose 1 electron. And then I just wrote a little bit about it over here. Where it's located, all that stuff is found on the periodic table. It says, and then I have sodium, and then I just labeled sodium and chlorine. I'll move this over a little bit. I have sodium and chlorine here. Hey, SolidPick, look like you could use an electron. Maybe, who's interested? Blah, blah, blah. Are you positive? Only if you're negative. Super corny. Come on, don't play hard to get. I got that electron you need. Let's give it a try. You positive? Only if you're negative. Alright, and then the formula. I wrote the formula NaCl, the name sodium chloride. Alright, so that's the name of the compound if they were to get together. Alright, so that's essentially what you're doing. Alright, so if you guys go to the, let me go to this real quick. If you guys go to the periodic table, this P table, you should be able to click on. Let me slide this over real quick. So, like, say I want to bond with lithium. If I click on lithium, it will pop up a ton of information about lithium. Now, there's a lot of other places you can get this information, but you can use this as well. Right, so, but that's where you're going to find that information. You just click on one of the elements that you're trying to bond with. Remember, for ionic bond, it should be one of these over here, bonding with one of these over here. Right? Not a noble gas. You should never include these. Those all have a full outer shell. All right, then you're gonna do the same thing for a covalent bond. All right, you're gonna just pick 2 nonmetals. I don't care, and if you want to look up what a formula could be for them, or again, we did a lot of these. A lot of them can vary up on a carbon and chlorine, 4 chlorine, 1 carbon, whatever. Doesn't matter. You're gonna do the exact same thing with them. So here's one that we've done before. Like this person talked about the abundance. I'm pretty popular. You can talk about like the abundance of the electrons or of the atoms themselves, whatever. So there's another example of one. I'm not going to go through it all. But there's the text message. Magnesium and sulfur were to get together. Magnesium, sulfur. You got to write down what the formula would be, etc. All right, so just remember, you're filling out this information. The describe yourself should be about like what the information about it, but try to make it like it's a person talking. Try to make it sound like it's a profile pic that you're filling out. What I'm passionate about, like I said, it can be anything with Remember, the whole point of bonding is to have a full outer shell, so you can go somewhere with that. Looking for someone like so. This one is like they picked a specific group that they are looking for. Elements in group 6 because magnesium's in group 2 and they have a full outer shell. So anything like that, and then make sure you have a text message. You're doing the same thing for a covalent bond. All right, so you should have 4 profile pics in total. 4 profile pics, 2 messages, and then the name of an ionic bond, the formula, and the name of the covalent bond. Alright, so it's easier if you just put the ionic bond first, like this one, and then do the covalent bond next. Alright, if you have any questions, feel free to send me a message.